For a lot of teenagers, turning 17 means stepping into the driver's seat for the very first time and spending hours and hours getting to grips with the road. Meanwhile, 17-year-old racing driver Max Bird from Chichester has just finished 4th in the national Ginetta GT5 championship. Max is here to reflect on his season's success and tell us just how he got into the full-throttle spirit. Well, Max, thank you so much for coming in. And as we said there, you've been driving for a little while, whilst maybe some of your friends are still kind of just getting that tentative first steps into driving.
Yeah, a lot of my friends from racing and college are still trying to pass their tests. Well, I passed mine within a few months, but I still had to do a lot of learning for the lessons and the theory and stuff, which was quite hard, but I managed to pass it all right, yeah.
Because I suppose, obviously, learning to drive on a track compared to driving on the roads is quite a different animal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously on the road you have to obey speed limits and things like that, whereas on the race circuit you have to drive as fast as you can all of the time, sort of thing, so yeah.
And when you're racing, you're going up against other people your age, or is it a whole mixture?
So, I mean, there could be anyone from sort of 17 to 40 odd, but obviously a lot of the older ones have got more experience compared to the young ones, but I would say the younger you are, sort of, I would say you can normally beat the older guys because I would say you have a longer concentration time span and sort of things like that.
Okay, and some of our viewers may be kind of motorsport fans, but for anybody that's maybe not clued up, what is the Ginetta or GT?
So it's a fiberglass body on a space frame aluminium chassis. It's got an 1800cc Ford Zetec engine in it.
Wow.
And it weighs about 800 kilos. So, I mean, power to weight ratio, you're looking, it's a pretty fast car for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, probably something you wouldn't be legal to drive on the road, though, at that sort of speed.
You can't even insure the car on the road to be road legal. So, no, I can't imagine what it would be like to drive on the road. And
is it quite scary when you're kind of sticking it into the corner at some speed?
I mean, yeah, it is a scary car to drive, but it's something that I enjoy doing, and speed is what I love. So I'd almost like something which would go a bit faster, really. But yeah, it is something which I love and enjoy doing.
So that's your car on the track. What car do you have for the day-to-day?
So on the road, I've got a Ford Fiesta Zetec S turbo. So it's fast, but it's not really enough. You know what I mean? So yeah. What
would you ideally like to work up to?
Dream car would be sort of a BMW or something like that, and maybe an M4 or an M2. But it's about earning the money to pay for that sort of car.
Oh, definitely, definitely. But I suppose whilst you're here as well, you can probably settle an argument for me. A friend of mine has a catchphrase that rubbing's not racing. So that's obviously when kind of you're trying to get past somebody and you bump up against them, for anybody that doesn't know. So what is your take on that?
I do agree that you need to have rubbing in racing because it makes the racing. You want to have those good close battles with people on the circuit. You don't particularly want to be out front all the time just sort of not doing anything or not being pushed by anyone else. For me, I like to have like the fight in the race and feel afterwards that, oh yeah, I've won that, not by giving it on a silver spoon, but by beating anyone else on the track.
I suppose that's it, is where the cars often are set up quite similar.
Yeah.
It is the skill of the driver and kind of how you take the corners and things that really makes the difference.
It's skill of the driver and what lines you take through the corners. So you could brake later than someone, but because you brake later, the car's more unstable, so you don't go through the corners well. But it's those risks you've got to take to be at the front of the pack or the race.
And is it just in the UK that you race, or do you travel all over?
So this year we raced in Holland, a track called Zandvoort. But next year, hopefully, we'll be going to Spa in Belgium.
Oh, fantastic.
So, I mean...
Watch out for the hill at Spa, though. It's quite dangerous.
Yeah, it is quite a scary hill there. But as I progress through racing, I'd like to race at more European circuits.
I can definitely recommend Monza. That is a cathedral of speed. But... we also understand as well you are looking for new sponsors to kind of take you through into the next season. So if there was anybody out there maybe wanted to get in touch and help you out with your racing career, what would they need to do?
They could either contact me on my website, maxbird.co.uk, or my Facebook page, Max Bird Racing.
And what kind of racing do you hope to progress onto?
I mean, the pinnacle, the dream is to race at Le Mans. But to get there, I've got to go through the higher ranks of sports car racing.
Wow, fantastic. Well, Max, please do come back and let us know how you get on, but thank you so much for coming in.